Even Ray Charles could have seen these Beyonce warning signs we all seem to miss, so let's talk about them. Starting with her toxic relationship signs she's shown us over the years, but we may not have taken them in. If you are not yet aware, Jay-Z put out an album called 444. In it, he gives advice and his thoughts and feelings on many things, and in particular, his growth as a man. His album is also being talked about as a response to Beyonce's iconic Lemonade album due to his talking about his infidelity and the emotional strain that it took on his wife. In the title track, he goes uncomfortably in-depth, detailing the ways he has harmed her. He told iHeartRadio that the song 444 is the title track because it's such a powerful song, and he just believed it to be like one of the best songs he's ever written. The songs on the album all indicate that he's been very toxic in his relationship, and it may be worse than we all initially thought. There has also been loads of speculation regarding Jay-Z having cheating on Beyonce. Now, although these rumors have been around for literally over a decade, Jay-Z did finally put them to an end and confirmed that they were legitimate. The rapper spoke with New York Times Magazine that he was really going through it back in 2005, so much so that, he broke his vows. In the same interview, Jay-Z said that, he struggled to save his marriage and empathize with Beyonce's pain. Now, he said, the hardest thing is seeing pain on someone's face that you have caused and then having to deal with yourself. He continued to say, you have to survive, so you go into survival mode, and when you go into survival mode, what happens? You shut down all emotions. He also opened up about his cheating on David Letterman's show, My Next Guest Needs No Introduction. Many people said he doesn't deserve Beyonce, and that, this particular episode seemed very much like it was completely scripted. The questions had already been established and talking points were already laid down before they ever even got on stage. Next, we have the elevator incident, of course. Now, this brawl after, the ball is one of pop culture fans, favorite memory that they'll never forget. Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Solange Knowles' infamous argument at a Met Gala after party occurred on May 5th, 2014, and quickly became the hottest topic in entertainment. Fans couldn't believe the footage released from TMZ, which showed Jay-Z arguing with his sister-in-law in the elevator at the Standard Hotel. Now, at one point, the surveillance video captured Solange, hitting and kicking the rapper while Beyonce silently just stood by. Although the whole night, there were virtually no signs of any issues occurring, everything changed when Beyonce first stepped into that elevator. As her younger sister, husband and another man trailed behind, Solange, you can see her slowly, cornering her brother-in-law before getting physical. While Solange, threw a couple punches and kicks in his direction, a man immediately reacted by hitting the emergency stop switch in the elevator and then proceeded to subdue her. After the incident, the trio released a joint statement saying they, had apologized to one another, they were moving forward, all is good. Now, in the months following the Met Gala incident, the power couple faced rumors that their marriage was on the rocks, and many people took this as the biggest warning sign ever, but ultimately, they did indeed make up, and all has seemed to be well for now, at least. Beyonce rented out an entire hospital floor for her pregnancy with Blue Ivy. Yes, that's right. Now, when Beyonce was set to deliver her first child, Blue Ivy, in January 2012, she reportedly rented out the entire hospital floor. She apparently paid $1.3 million to rent out the entire floor of Lenox Hills Hospital's maternity ward. Now, while, we get Beyonce and Jay-Z are huge names, of course, it seems slightly over the top, to occupy an entire floor of a hospital for childbirth. One new father actually told the New York Post he made 4 attempts to visit his baby twins in this intensive care unit, only to be turned away because, Beyonce needed her needs. She was using up the whole floor. The hospital has, of course, denied many of the reports about, special treatment, though a statement and a spokesperson said that the famous couple, were billed the standard rate for those accommodations. Yeah, right. Our executive, suites are available for any patient, including the food service and amenities provided to the Carter family. A rep for the hospital also said, "The hospital has been and still continues to be in control of managing all security at the facility. We have made every effort to ensure minimal disruption to other families experiencing the births of their own children over the past 3 days." That doesn't explain, though, the reported outrage being, vented by the Lennox visitors and patients. So, if the hospital did give celebrities VIP treatment, that inconvenienced others, that absolutely would not be okay. Whether Beyonce was unfairly favored or not, we'll just have to, file this one under like medical mysteries. Speaking of Blue Ivy, another weird thing Beyonce did that many people thought was like a warning sign of just more crazy to come was the fact that she and Jay tried to trademark Blue Ivy's name very early on. Blue Ivy may have been a big deal for Jay-Z and Beyonce, but one person, actually a couple in particular, were not. But one of them, Veronica Alexandra, is the owner of Blue Ivy Events, founded prior to Beyonce's daughter being born. The couple attempted to trademark the name, however, they were denied. Now, Alexandra claims that she was happy, of course, with the outcome, considering they should not be able to trademark a name simply because they are famous. People honestly question why they would even want to have her name trademarked. Many speculated, though, that it was either to protect her daughter's name from any unauthorized use, to control the commercial and cultural, significance of her daughter's name, or to create a strong brand for Blue. However, after 12 years of legal, battles, Beyonce finally got the go-ahead to trademark her daughter Blue Ivy's name. A successful challenge against a Wisconsin-based retail store that was also using Blue Ivy's, name. Well, prior to that, it was since 2011. It worked in Beyonce's favor this time. Now, when opposing the previous ruling, which sided with the Wisconsin retail store, Beyonce's team argued that no reasonable consumer would ever suffer any form of confusion when encountering, the cited logo, which is used with one small shop in like Fish Creek, Wisconsin. So, there's a population of about 997 people. No one's gonna get confused. After performing alongside her mother on the Renaissance World Tour and dancing with Beyonce at the Houston Texans vs. Baltimore Ravens NFL game on Christmas Day, which aired on Netflix, Blue Ivy has most definitely demonstrated her worthiness of having her name trademarked. So if at first you don't succeed, just dust yourself off and try again. So congrats to them. Oprah advised Beyonce to keep her relationship with Jay-Z a secret. Now, during Beyonce's rise to fame as a solo artist, she would frequent, the Oprah show quite often and became quite close to the queen of daytime talk shows. Now, they were actually so close that Oprah had told Beyonce to just keep her relationship completely private and a secret from the public. Now, in a 2003 interview with Oprah, Beyonce said she didn't want to confirm or deny rumors about her relationship with Jay-Z. Everyone knew that Beyonce and Jay-Z were like kindling a romance as they both rose up the ranks of the music industry. However, Beyonce wanted to keep some things private as she started to become a household name. And that included, of course, her relationship with Jay. Now, she said that she wanted to focus on her music and that talking about her relationship would make it more important than her art. She said, "I don't actually want to talk about who I'm dating, who I'm not, because I think it's important that I concentrate on the music. And when you start talking about those things, they become bigger than the art." Oprah recalled telling Beyonce, "Don't go around telling people who you're dating." Beyonce has said that Oprah's advice helped her to keep her personal life out of the public eye. While we get Oprah's good advice, it appears Beyonce didn't take it. And when that episode aired, many fans questioned the intention behind it and wondered if that was a sign of trouble in their starting romance, or if Oprah, knew something that the rest of us didn't.
Right out the gate, Wendy Williams. No one has done quite as much for pop culture as this woman. She was messy, but she was also real. Getting this title, all I could think of was a 2016 moment from the Wendy Williams Show Season 7, Episode 71, in which she's speaking to the audience and in a false, demure manner, poses the question, "Guess who's jealous of Adele?" And then with fire, she exclaims, "Beyonce!" This clip is so funny and it's so viral online because literally, why wouldn't it be? Williams also looks so proud of herself after too. The crowd is gagged. I love this video. Williams goes on to share that In Touch has reported this rumor that Beyonce was feeling overshadowed by Adele. The talk show host goes on to say that both women are great and maybe Beyonce should have kept her feelings to herself since it's clear that someone went and leaked it to the press. This was right around when Adele released 25, which is arguably arguably her most influential album. It's the one with Hello and Send My Love to Your New Lover, so yeah, it's like the one. 25 was released right at the end of 2015, so it had the traction all throughout 2016. Beyonce dropped Lemonade in April 2016, and that was also a moment, but I think we all remember the chokehold Hello had on the culture. You couldn't shake it, it was everywhere. What honestly is kind of funny is Williams talks about how Adele and Beyonce are different kinds of performers, which is true, they are. But then she's like, I don't want Beyonce to be upset with Adele's success. Yes, Beyonce, she is out succeeding you right now, but in the long haul, you will go on to Vegas and you will be part of the lexicon of great entertainers until forever. Beyonce, you could hold Vegas, you will go down with the greats. I don't know what Adele will do. Being an entertainer is more than just being able to sing Hello. And this is really funny to me because Adele just finished a 2-year-long Vegas residency, and Beyonce is being torn apart online right now, which might seem shocking if you aren't chronically online, but lucky for you, I am, so I can explain how we got here. While it might seem odd for the public to turn on Beyonce so quickly after literally making her American royalty for the better part of the last few decades, this was actually brewing for a while. There were already conspiracy theories about her and her family being involved with miscellaneous shady stuff for years, the usual like famous person conspiracy stuff, but then this year the whole internet had this inside joke where if someone doesn't thank Beyonce when they win an award that she was also up for, then she will like come for them because she always has to be the center of attention. People noticed that whenever Beyonce was up for a major award and didn't win, the person who did win would often thank her in some way in their speech. Tying this back to the Adele and Wendy Williams stuff, Adele did actually thank Beyonce in her acceptance speech at the 2017 Grammys when 25 won Album of the Year over Lemonade. She said, I can't possibly accept this award and I'm very humbled and I'm very grateful and gracious, but my artist of my life is Beyonce, and then went on to praise her album. I remember seeing this in the news. People at the time were like, oh, that's so nice because everybody loved Beyonce and the album. But now people are looking at this as proof that Beyonce was in fact jealous of Adele, like Wendy Williams and In Touch claimed. And maybe Adele felt like she needed to say what she did to protect her career. The theory is certainly entertaining, but true, that's still up in the air. Did celebrities who won over Beyonce thank her every time? No. Harry Styles didn't, and he's fine, but it happened enough for people to find a pattern. Honestly, this trend was pretty funny. I did eat it up. It started as a joke. It was like good luck to thank Beyonce, kind of like carrying around a rabbit's foot, and then it became, well, Beyonce must be doing something to the people that don't thank her because, you know, there's always people that take things too seriously, and the inside joke became a slippery slope into where we are today, after all the allegations against Beyonce's husband, Jay-Z, have come to light. This is one of those moments where you're like, oh my gosh, that's so funny, that's a funny coincidence, and then some like harrowing information comes out about or close to the person, and suddenly it's really not funny anymore, and actually maybe pretty serious. Beyonce is on public trial, but it is serious, and the rumor is pretty disgusting if it is true. Her husband, JayZ, has recently been accused of non-consensually engaging with a young girl alongside Sean Diddy Combs. This particular lawsuit has been active for months, but Diddy was the only one named. Jay-Z's name was released later, it seems, because there was some stuff just like happening behind closed doors. At least that is what I have gathered from statements from both sides. Beyonce has no hand in the case right now, but since she is married to Jay-Z, people haven't been considering her innocent. With this specific case at least, it's unlikely that Beyonce would be involved. I don't want to say impossible, of course, because I wasn't there. What business do I have working with absolutes? However, at the time, Beyonce and Jay-Z weren't dating yet. Still, people wonder if Jay-Z did this once. Did he do it again? Did Beyonce know? She looked pretty calm at the Mufasa premiere, which was only days after the news broke. But then again, Forbes printed her name without Jay-Z's Carter, prompting fans to think there was some trouble. Unclear as of now. 50 Cent has been on Jay-Z's case for the last few months, that much is clear, and he's been on Beyonce's for longer. The rapper has been calling out Jay-Z throughout most of this year, suggesting he might have something to do with the ongoing Diddy situation, and lo and behold, Jay-Z was named in a suit. But what did he say about Beyonce? There were a couple things. Picture this, it's 2014, the news has just broken that Beyonce's sister Solange has attacked Jay-Z in the elevator after the biggest fashion event of the year, the Met Gala. This is all anyone is talking about. There has never been drama like this, so of course 50 Cent has something to say. While speaking to the radio station Power 105.1, the rapper recalled a time when he and Beyonce allegedly almost got into their own disagreement. He claims the moment happened in a Vegas nightclub. The rapper said, "One time, she jumped off a ledge and came running over because she thought me and Jay had issues. I mean, they certainly do now, history repeats itself." He continued sharing his disbelief at the moment, wondering if it actually just happened. I mean, like, if Beyonce ran up to you, I'm sure there would be some confusion on your part as well. But then he finished with, "She bugged out at me." He didn't share what the potential problem between him and Jay-Z was, though. A year later, in 2015, 50 Cent had more to say. After the results of the Grammys that year, Beyonce had just lost Album of the Year to Beck, and her fan base was kicking up a storm about this, to the point where 50 Cent chimed in. He basically said Beck was more deserving of the award because he did more like by himself. He produced his record, he wrote the record, whereas Beyonce's album had more producers. 50 Cent said 11, but I think it was around like 15 people. That isn't a bad thing, but what 50 Cent seems to be getting at is that Beck put in a lot of like individual work, so therefore he did deserve the award. Kid Rock is not or was not a Beyonce fan in 2015 when he roasted the singer in an interview with Rolling Stone. He said he was flabbergasted with Beyonce's fame. He didn't get it. The reason he didn't get it could probably just be boiled down to he personally isn't a fan of her, but what he said was, "Beyonce to me doesn't have a Purple Rain, but she's the biggest thing on earth. How can you be that big without at least one Sweet Home Alabama or Old Time Rock and Roll?" So basically, he thought that she just didn't have a timeless hit to keep her name in the music halls of fame for eternity. And what I like really love about this comment from him is that it's like he's from a world without Single Ladies or Halo, or let's go further, like Crazy in Love, Say My Name, If I Were a Boy, and now Texas Hold'em. I love that. He then went on to compare Beyonce's appearance to other women and say that Beyonce doesn't do it for him and wasn't his type, which like if someone isn't your type, like that's fine, but just don't be mean about it. Beyonce's fan base was quick to flood his Instagram comments with bee emojis in support of Beyonce, which prompted one of my top 10 celebrity online interactions when Kid Rock's next post was a can of insect spray. These are the kind of messy celebrity moments that do go down in history.
Starting off with the no eye contact rule, staff members are reportedly forbidden from making direct eye contact with Beyonce or Jay-Z. It was reported that when Beyonce was in Jamaica alongside her husband for a video shoot, the Jamaican staff that were hired for the shoot were deeply dismayed when they were instructed by Beyonce's management team that the rules included not looking at Beyonce. The hired staff were happy for the opportunity, but many said upon leaving the shoot, they were no longer fans of the singer. I'm not surprised. Next up, specific food requests. Beyonce allegedly demands a specific type of water with precisely 7.4 pH levels, and it was reported that she needed $900 worth of titanium drinking straws for it, and it had to be served at exactly 21 degrees. There is also a rule that Beyonce's chicken must be seasoned with garlic powder or she just won't eat it. She will only eat it if it's baked and seasoned with garlic powder, a little bit of salt, black pepper, and cayenne pepper. Now the trick, apparently, is to heavily season her chicken and only give her the breast, legs, and wings. Now, on the side of her plate, staff members also have to include some broccoli, spinach, and green beans. So this girl like really loves her greens. Aside from her pH water, she will also only drink Pepsi products, which is probably why we've only seen her do Pepsi commercials. Staff also have to remember to make sure she has lemon wedges and hot tea. As long as the staff doesn't forget to chill half her water bottles, everything should be fine. Confidentiality agreements. This shouldn't really be a surprise as most celebrities will have this in place, but Beyonce and Jay-Z tell all their staff that they must be able to, quote unquote, keep a secret. All staff are required to sign NDAs to maintain the couple's privacy, and not following that rule could actually have very serious consequences. The staff are also not allowed to complain about their role or their personal life in any shape, way, or form. Now, Jay-Z has told employees and staff that while they are on the job, there is not to be any talk about their personal lives. While working, everything should remain strictly business. It was reported that he even said, "There's too much work to focus on and you'll never get anywhere by complaining." They have both made it very clear that they will cut you off immediately. Staff staff, friend, or even family. Another strict rule in place for their staff is that staff members are not allowed to work with Kimye, being Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Now, a few years ago, drama ensued between Jay-Z and Kanye. The wives seem to somehow get in the mix too. Now, both rappers have been known to go back and forth at times, but up to this point, they had always mended their relationship. That is not exactly what happened here though. Jay-Z sees Kanye West as a younger brother, but once he crossed the line and brought Bey into it, Jay was not having it. Kanye got on stage during one of his performances and basically made a shout out to Jay-Z saying he should call him after all this time. Then he went further by calling out Beyonce for not performing beside him at the 2016 MTV Video Music Awards. Since then, the couple has had nothing to do with Kanye West and his wife, Kim Kardashian, well, ex-wife. Although Beyonce and Kim have never been friends, throughout the years, they've both been accused by the media of throwing shade at each other. When Kanye proposed to Kim Kardashian, the Carter family were nowhere in sight. Slowly, they began to separate themselves from Kimye, and they expect staff to do the same as well. Sometimes celebrity staff will work with multiple celebrities, and Beyonce and Jay-Z don't mind as long as it's not Kim and Kanye, or any other celebrities they may feud with. Another strict rule in place is that all staff must read and sign the ultimate nanny rulebook for their children. Beyonce has a specific rulebook that she makes each nanny read. By the way, there are 6 nannies for the twins and 2 for Blue when needed. This rulebook includes how she wants her children to be taken care of. Beyonce, of course, wrote the rulebook herself. Why would she follow anyone else's advice, right? A few of the rules and duties of the nannies include mowing their lawn, putting their purses on the floor, not countertops, which honestly would be a deal breaker for me because if you know anything about superstitions, you know that is like really bad luck. And also they have to take out the trash. Now, for the twins, each nanny works in a span of 8-hour shifts around the clock. When Blue Ivy was younger, she required 3 nannies as well, but now that she's older, they've employed 2 instead of 3. And to branch off of this, Blue Ivy must have 3 bodyguards for school, no questions asked. So Blue Ivy's entourage includes 2 drivers and 3 bodyguards. And when it comes to the twins, they are not allowed to nap to music. Beyonce feels the music, even if played quietly, could distract their sleep and cause them to have bad sleeping patterns. And speaking of nannies, another strict rule is the bilingual rule. All nannies have to be bilingual, preferably in French. Now, according to a source who's in with the Carter family, Beyonce and Jay have said that the nannies they employ have to be happy to travel the world with the Carters. I am mad at that, to be honest. I mean, who would be, right? And the other main stipulation, though, is that they have to be bilingual. This source said they want a French speaker for a number of reasons. The family have a real connection with France, and Beyonce's nephew Jules is a French speaker because his dad is French. Now, on Larry King Live back in 2007, before Blue Ivy was born, Beyonce was asked if she spoke another language since she recorded some songs in Spanish. Beyonce said, "I sure don't. I don't speak French either. I learned it phonetically and we took one sentence at a time. I just spoke the lyrics over and over and over again and then put the melody to it." Beyonce made it clear that she wants Blue, Rumi, and Sir to excel in life. So being bilingual is one of the dreams she has for all of her children. Now, another big rule is absolutely no photography. Staff members are not allowed to take photos of Beyonce, Jay-Z, or their children, whether they're at home or not. Beyonce has also restricted photography at her concerts and on her tours, including banning professional photographers and limiting the photos media outlets can actually use. Back in 2013, Beyonce banned professional photographers from her Mrs. Carter Show World Tour. Instead, her management company provided media outlets with a limited number of pre-approved photos taken by her tour photographer. Now, this led to news outlets relying on amateur and paparazzi photos, which were often taken from a distance and in very poor lighting. Some photographers have gone on the record to say that Beyonce's no photo policy is threatening the First Amendment, and the National Press Photographers Association had a problem with that, saying it seems these days everyone is trying to control their own content. Eventually, if you have all the artists doing this, everything is going to be more controlled and less free. The whole idea of photography is seeing is supposed to be believing. Of course, Beyonce nor any of her representatives responded when asked questions about the policy, and it's still unclear whether or not news outlets actually have to pay to use the 4 to 10 photos available after each of her shows. But let it be made very clear, not one of those photos of Beyonce will show even one hair out of place or even a blink in her eye, okay? So moving on, we have the workout rule. Now, Beyonce's staff are absolutely not allowed to bother her while she's working on her body. Beyonce's fitness routine was very demanding after she had the twins. As soon as her body healed up, it was off to the gym, sometimes 3 times a day. Now, a source told E! News that she did SoulCycle several times a week as soon as she got the clearance after her C-section. Now, she also worked out with a trainer at home doing cardio, intervals, and weights. Now, this source actually went on to explain all of her meals and diet were overseen by a private chef on staff who travels with them and prepares everything specifically for her. While Beyonce is busy getting her body back, her nannies are only allowed to bother her if it's an absolute emergency. If they bother her or disrupt her workout session, consequences could include a fine or worse, like dismissal. And to piggyback off of that last one, another strict rule is that all staff or their children must stay in shape since their kids have demanding schedules. Now, this one isn't very surprising, and this isn't a, discriminatory thing or anything like that. It's just a preference Beyonce has, knowing that the women pushing through crowds with her will have to be able to keep up. It's very common for nannies to go MIA due to health issues, and that is something Beyonce just can't have happen. It takes so much time to find, process, and acclimate a new hire, so it's best that each caretaker is in its prime or in their prime health. Now, though Beyonce has 6 nannies looking after Rumi and Sir, they are with her all day, so while she's busy, she can still be a part of what's happening. Anyone who isn't in tip-top shape or excellent health won't even be considered for the job. I mean, honestly, each nanny gets paid like a minimum of $100,000 a year. I would stay in shape for that kind of money too, am I right? On the topic of money, it's no secret the Carters have a lot in the bank, and while they pay their nannies and staff pretty well, it is reported, however, that bonus money must be earned. Jay-Z gave all of his employees $50,000 right before Christmas one year. But that's not all. Jay-Z also gave them Christmas gifts as well. Combined, it's even reported that throughout the year of 2013, the couple gave staff up to $4.6 million in bonus money and gifts. If they live the lavish life, of course, maybe they want their staff to be a part of that too. Now, Beyonce and Jay-Z have 80 employees across the board, so that's a lot of staff, so of course a lot of money too. But employees are, however, expected to follow every single one of the rules, no matter how ridiculous they may seem. If even one is not followed, you can expect to not get a bonus. You may not get canned or fired for it, but you won't get something extra around Christmas time or at the end of summer. I want to start with the shocking story of Uncle Ron, Jay-Z's former bodyguard who passed away in September 12th of this year, actually. His cause of passing is still unknown, and on Uncle Ron's TikTok page, on all of his videos, the comments were set to limited. It is suspected that the reason for this is because so many people were commenting like, what happened to Ron? How did he pass away? Tell us the truth, and so on and so forth. So his family needed to avoid having to respond to these comments in order to stay safe. And as you've probably already guessed, Jay-Z nor Beyonce has spoken out about this or provided any clarity whatsoever on Uncle Ron's passing, and probably never will. Next, I actually want to dig into an affair you probably haven't heard about, and no, I'm not about to talk about the Rihanna and Jay-Z one. We all know about that one, right? I want to tell you about Jay-Z's alleged affair with rapper and member of Rockefeller Records, Emil. Full name, Emil Whitehead, and you're probably watching this saying like, Emil who? Don't worry, I was too. To give some background on Emil, Emil was born September 19th, 1978 in Cleveland, Ohio, and grew up in a troubled home, and her family experienced poverty. Her mother actually struggled with many issues, including addiction and mental health, and her father was absent, so Emil basically grew up with little to no parental guidance. She had several siblings, and for the most part, helped raise them to the best of her abilities, of course. And the neighborhood she grew up in was tough, and there was just so much instability in her life. It's safe to say it was a hard knock life. Emil did go to high school but dropped out in grade 10 due to financial struggles, and she was influenced by hip-hop at a very young age and began writing poetry and raps in her teenage years. She actually even performed in a few Cleveland talent shows and open mic nights. The first life-changing event for Emil was when she met Jazz O. Now, of course, that led to a lot of industry connections, so this encounter would actually lead her to relocating to New York to pursue a music career. Emil was featured on Jay-Z's 1998 single, Can I Get A, and was set to be a rising star, but that didn't pan out, and here's why. Emil and Jay-Z were alleged to have had an affair, and rumors suggest that the alleged affair occurred around 1999 to 2000, and in a 2000 interview with The Source, Emil implied she had an intimate relationship with Jay-Z, but didn't give any details. Jay-Z, of course, went on to deny the allegations in various interviews, and to no shock to me, you, or anyone with a working brain, Emil was then dropped from Rockefeller Records in 2000, and her music career declined at a rate faster than the Leviathan, and that's a roller coaster for anyone wondering. Now, to make matters worse, though, in the early 2000s, petty type of fashion, both of them released diss tracks. Now, Emil released I'm Concerned, which was aimed directly at Jay-Z, and Jay-Z released The Takeover, which was aimed directly at Emil. Now, enough of Jay-Z, let's actually get to Queen Bee, or Queen Bey, shall I say. Beyonce is no stranger to controversies, right? Like, we know about Jay-Z's 2016 infidelity being hinted in Beyonce's Lemonade album. We know about the 2014 elevator incident with Bey's sister Solange. By the way, I can't believe that was like 10 years ago already. And we've heard about her lip syncing the Star Spangled Banner at Obama's inauguration in 2013, for which she faced like intense backlash for. But I bet you haven't really heard about Beyonce's several plagiarism accusations. So yeah, I want to highlight one year in particular, 2018, because this year she faced like not one, not two, but 6 different allegations. So let's dig into them. Like, first we have the accusation of music video plagiarism. Now, it is alleged that choreographer Marilyn Oritz said that Beyonce stole concepts and choreography for her Formation music video. Oritz took to Instagram to say, I'm sorry, I don't bash artists, but I respect fellow creative artists, and I don't like to take to social media to promote something that can be perceived as negativity, but at Beyonce, you have the nerve to steal exact concepts and choreography from other real creative geniuses. You stole from @Breaking Surface, you stole the stomping from #Delagarda. It's okay to be inspired, but at least make the effort to make it your own. She then went on to tag several other Instagram handles, and needless to say, the post had thousands of views and comments. And so another plagiarism allegation on Beyonce comes after actually a Belgian choreographer named Anna Teresa de Keersmaker accused Beyonce of plagiarizing her work in Beyonce's Countdown music video. Now, Anna claimed Beyonce took her 1983 ballet moves in a Rosas Dans Rosas, and that's like her music video, and her 1990s Achterland. And she took those moves without any permission at all. And to be fair, the dance moves, gestures, and formations were nearly like identical, and even the outfits and styling were very similar. Anna said she felt shocked and hurt by the apparent plagiarism, and in a public statement she stated, Beyonce's video is a copycat of my work. What's rude about it is they don't even bother about hiding it. They seem to think they could do it because it's a famous worker. Am I honored? Sure, but look, I've seen local school kids doing this. That's a lot more beautiful. That's a little harsh. But she got zero credit nor any acknowledgement from Beyonce, and she chose not to pursue any legal action. The controversy did, however, bring attention to Anna's work, so there's a plus at least. And you know, this isn't the first or last time Beyonce has been accused of such though, right? She was also in a lot of heat for copying several moves for her very famous Single Ladies video. Now, this is fairly new, but it's Beyonce, so like what's new right now will be old in about like an hour or so. So it's been brought to my attention that Beyonce allegedly has very recently dropped her Carter surname, Carter being Jay-Z's real last name. But anyway, Beyonce has been absolutely embroiled in controversy recently due to a civil lawsuit accusing her husband and Sean Diddy Combs of essaying a 13-year-old girl at a post-2000 MTV Video Music Awards party. Now, Jay-Z Jay-Z has of course denied the allegations, and Diddy also has denied the allegations. Now, amid this turmoil, diehard fans, or better known as the Bayhive, have spotted that Forbes, which very recently named Beyonce as one of the most influential women of the year, referred to her as Beyonce Knowles, rather than her official married name, Beyonce Knowles Carter. This led some followers to speculate about a potential soft launch name change. Now, fans of course took immediately to social media to share screenshots of her profile and discuss the apparent name change. One user even asked, "My good sis, where's your hyphen?" While another commented, "Look how she don't want Carter associated with her now." Another fan even asked, "When did Beyonce change her last name?" And a viral tweet read, "The soft launch name change." However, this could all mean nothing because apparently this is nothing new. According to some fans, they've stated that Forbes has always referred to Beyonce as Beyonce Knowles and not Beyonce Knowles Carter. Interestingly though, in September, Forbes did refer to the singer by her married name, Beyonce Knowles Carter, when she launched her whiskey brand Sir Davis. But also let's remember that Beyonce has been rocking the Carter name for years, and her latest album literally is Cowboy Carter. So like everything else, time will tell. Of course, Jay-Z has absolutely expressed his sorrow over the impact this lawsuit has had on his family, and he said in a statement, "My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where his friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims, and explain the cruelty and greed of people." He said, "I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age." The rapper also added, "It is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. My heart and support goes out to true victims in this world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit."
We were told that big names would start being linked to Diddy the closer we got to his trial, and now it's finally happening, with one lawsuit officially naming Jay-Z. The suit was originally filed back in October of this year, but at the time it was just Sean Diddy Combs named. The other parties were referred to as Celebrity A and B. The woman who filed the suit has remained anonymous, so she is known as Jane Doe right now. In the original lawsuit, Jane Doe alleged that Diddy and an unnamed male celebrity took turns being inappropriately engaged with her without consent, while another unnamed female celebrity watched. The alleged events of the evening went as follows. In 2000, the young plaintiff attempted to sneak into Radio City Music Hall for MTV's VMAs. When she was unsuccessful, she met Diddy's driver. The driver told her to come back after the show, and when she did, he drove her to a house. We don't know whose it was, but it was described as a large white house with a gated U-shaped driveway. The plaintiff claims that once inside, she was presented with a non-disclosure agreement to sign. She then claims there was widespread use of substances at the party, and when handed a beverage, the substances were in there too. She attempted to find somewhere safe to lay down and entered an empty bedroom. The plaintiff alleges that it wasn't long after that the trio of celebrities followed and the horrible events of the evening began to happen, only stopping when she managed to strike Diddy. It was after this that she was able to escape and return home. However, as the lawsuit claims, the plaintiff fell into a deep depression which continues to affect every facet of her life. Diddy has denied these accusations, insisting he is innocent. At the time of filing, the lawsuit only named Sean Diddy Combs. The other parties, unnamed celebrities. This has obviously changed. Jay-Z's name has been revealed, though he also insists he never did any of those things. The Daily Mail obtained images allegedly from the same night that featured Jay-Z at the party. Of course, that doesn't prove he did those things, just that he did attend the event. But we still don't know who the female celebrity was. There are 1001 theories, of course, because that is what the internet is for, and many fingers have pointed to Beyonce. She is Jay-Z's wife, and the two have been together for literally almost as long as I've been alive, so you can see why people would throw a side eye her way. However, I would argue it's actually pretty unlikely that Celebrity B was Beyonce. Jay-Z and Beyonce would not have been together at the time. They met in March of 2000 at MTV's Spring Break Festival in Cancun, Mexico, and the alleged actions were carried out that September after the MTV Music Awards. Beyonce and Jay-Z released a track together in 2018 called 713, in which Jay-Z raps about being interested in Beyonce since he met her when she was 18 and he was 30, but not getting together together right away, as the pair didn't speak for 2 years after the first meeting. Beyonce also has said in past interviews that she and Jay-Z weren't romantically involved until she was 19, which again would mean that it's unlikely she was Celebrity B in the room, as that only happened roughly 6 months after the Spring Break Festival. Of course, even if Beyonce would not have been in the room when it happened, who knows if she found out later in the relationship, or right now like the rest of us. Until we get an official verdict or the case is thrown out, this is all speculation, and Jay-Z is actively working towards having the case thrown out. Kind of. Him and his legal team are calling for Jane Doe to reveal herself. He wants to know who is publicly accusing him. Jay-Z and his team claim that the accuser should not be allowed to tarnish his name while hiding her identity. His attorney said that if the Jane Doe isn't revealed, it would deny Mr. Carter the fundamental right to confront his accuser while simultaneously enabling plaintiff and her counsel to conduct a trial by media. In a Monday filing, Jay-Z and his legal team have called for a judge to order that Jane Doe either reveal herself or the lawsuit gets dropped. The thing is, Jane Doe likely has a good reason to keep her name a secret. Tony Busby, her legal representation, spoke on behalf of her and the over 200 clients with claims against Diddy that his firm represents, and explained why the pseudonyms are so important. He claimed that about 80% of those that he is representing have told the firm that Diddy had allegedly warned them to stay quiet or something bad might happen to them and or their loved ones. Plus, keeping your name out of the headlines also ensures that an average person isn't followed by intense press through what might already be a difficult time. Busby spoke to a federal judge Sunday where he stressed how important it was that his client remain anonymous. However, there's still so many other unanswered questions, like why did the suit only name Diddy originally and wait to release Jay-Z's name, and why hasn't the female celebrity's name been revealed at the same time as Jay-Z? Well, Jay-Z has given us some clues on his end. The rapper claimed that before his name was released, his lawyer received a letter about the suit. It was described as a pre-litigation demand letter. Basically, he's claiming it was intended to blackmail him. He alleges he was asked for money, but Tony Busby claims that mediation was requested, not funds. Busby responded to Jay-Z's claims in an amended complaint. He accused Jay-Z of conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against plaintiff's lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z. So it seems like Jay-Z's name was initially hidden because they were trying to work things out privately, but it went wrong, and that's why he was added to the suit. In the event that the same steps were taken with Celebrity B as they were with Celebrity A, there's a chance that everything was settled behind closed doors. It's unclear if Jane Doe's legal team also would have taken the same route with Diddy, or if they would have just filed the suit because there were already so many allegations against him anyways. Jay-Z shared in a now deleted statement that the allegations are causing strain in his personal life, as his daughter, Blue Ivy, is old enough to likely hear about the information or have those close to her ask her about it. Plus, she's almost the age Jane Doe was when the alleged incident happened. In the same statement posted to Roc Nation's social medias, Jay-Z accused Jane Doe's representation of exploiting people for personal gain. He called the claims idiotic and wrote that the only people who would believe them are their network of conspiracy theorists and fake psychics. Somehow there is still more to this though. Busby claims that he expected Jay-Z to try to unmask Jane Doe and would be filing a response when the time was right. He also dropped another interesting tidbit. Apparently, he was sued in November by an unnamed male celebrity, John Doe. Since the first filing with Diddy's name happened in October, the timeline would actually line up for Busby to have enough time to contact Jay-Z's lawyer and then for them to sue in response. This is all alleged, as Busby doesn't actually know who it was. Busby did still relate that suit to the Jane Doe one though, saying he sued me under a pseudonym but files a motion to reveal the victim. Despite the high-profile nature of this case, Jay-Z is still out making public appearances with his family. He was spotted on a red carpet shortly after the news broke of the incident from the early 2000s. The red carpet in question was Disney's Mufasa. Who knows if Blue Ivy has been made aware of the situation yet, but likely Beyonce was. If her and Jay-Z are worried about the allegations, they do hide it well. The live-action prequel to The Lion King stars Beyonce and their daughter Blue Ivy, so that's why he was there to support his family. It is his daughter's big day. However, considering the circumstances, many people have shared online that they think he should not have gone, or at least stayed off the red carpet, that maybe he should have sat this one out. One ex-user said the rapper had nerve showing up like that, another agreeing with the response, no shame. Another popular rapper is even lending his keyboard to the drama. 50 Cent has been closely following the Diddy allegations and case and commenting at every chance he gets. Having Jay-Z roped into it all now, it was only a matter of time before a post hit Instagram. The post has been deleted now, but of course there are screenshots everywhere. He posted a picture of the family on the carpet with a caption that basically said, "Oh, I got accused of this really awful thing, time to go to the movies." And that's just like a really PG translation of what it actually said. It seems that the public loves 50 Cent for keeping it real. He does have a lot to say. He's even helping create a Netflix documentary about the Diddy situation. Netflix will stream it, and it will primarily be about Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, and one of the first and most public of the suits against the rapper. The doc will be an episodic series, and all proceeds will go to victims of inappropriate violence. 50 Cent confirmed the bidding war was won by Netflix in a since-deleted Instagram post. He also claimed that if more victims kept coming out, he's going to need more episodes, so there's potential the doc will end up covering way more than it originally bargained for, especially since Diddy's trial hasn't even happened yet. It's set for a May 2025 start.
Now, Jay-Z and Beyonce's good friend Diddy was arrested this year for running multiple crime rings during his parties. Now, Beyonce and Jay-Z have stayed silent the whole time, never mentioning their so-called friend again. Now, Diddy has been accused of some pretty horrible things, but it turns out Jay-Z joined Diddy in a disgusting criminal act, and that Beyonce may have already known about it. Or worse, it's being speculated that she was there when the crime took place and didn't do anything to stop her future husband and their friend. Diddy has been accused of mistreating and taking advantage of many different people of all genders, ages, and located all over the United States. Tony Busby, the attorney representing more than 120 alleged victims of Diddy, disclosed that he had sent out demand letters to celebrities asking them to pay up or face the consequences. Now, Tony had previously mentioned that investigations into Diddy's case had implicated several Hollywood big shots, but he refrained from dropping names. He also disclosed that he was going after other celebrities who attended Diddy's freak-offs, even if they did nothing wrong. In a new appearance on TMZ's documentary, The Downfall of Diddy Inside the Freak-Offs, Tony claims that such big names are as guilty as those who perpetrated the crimes, explaining that their silence and unwillingness to stand against it makes them liable. Now, after these comments were made, some people thought that Jay-Z could have been involved, and it turns out they were right. In a lawsuit that was filed in October, it claimed that Diddy mistreated and took advantage of a girl at an after-party for the MTV VMAs in the year 2000. It was said that Diddy did criminal acts with an unnamed male celebrity while another female celebrity just watched. On December 8th, though, the suit was refiled and it exposed Jay-Z as being that male celebrity. Tony said he was going to expose these celebrities, and it looks like the first person he chose was Jay-Z. Now, what was Jay-Z's reaction to all of this, though? He denied all of it, calling the victim Jane Doe a liar, and then he tried to play victim. Mr. Carter should not have to defend himself in the brightest of spotlights against an accuser who hides in complete darkness while leveling allegations that describe the purported acts occurring in the plain sight of witnesses who could refute the plaintiff's claims if only her identity was revealed, Jay-Z's filing stated. According to the lawsuit, Jane Doe's attorneys reached out to Jay-Z, aka Carter, to request a mediation, but alleges Carter responded to said letter by not only filing an utterly frivolous lawsuit, but also by orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against plaintiffs' lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z, Tony Busby said. This effort was meant to scare plaintiff to discredit her counsel. That effort failed. Indeed, plaintiff chose to file this amendment as a result of the egregious conduct perpetrated by Carter, according to the lawsuit. Now, in his response sent to CNN, Jay-Z called the mediation request a blackmail attempt. Jay-Z also said this lawyer, who I've done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. Now, in a statement from Tony Busby, he wrote, "The pleading speaks for itself. This is a very serious matter that will be litigated in court." Jay-Z then added in his statement that his only heartbreak is for his family. Now, CNN reported in November that an anonymous male celebrity filed a lawsuit against the Texas attorney representing Jane Doe, alleging he was the victim of an extortion scheme. The celebrity accused Busby and his firm of shamelessly attempting to extort exorbitant sums from him or else publicly file widely false, horrific allegations against him. Now, attorneys for the unnamed celebrity claimed further that Busby had threatened to unleash entirely fabricated allegations if their client refuses to comply with with their demands. But it appears now that this anonymous celebrity was most likely Jay-Z. Now, Busby denied the extortion claims against him in an Instagram post in which he wrote that his firm won't allow the powerful and their high-dollar lawyers to intimidate or silence survivors. And in a statement to CNN, he said, "If you are trying to hide your identity and you claim you did nothing wrong, doesn't seem very smart to take this approach," he told CNN in an email at the time. "We will address it in due course. I have confidence that with full public disclosure, all of this will sort itself out," he wrote. Now, he also responded on social media to Jay-Z's statement, saying that the alleged victim never demanded a penny from him, claiming they only sought confidential mediation. He added, "She is emboldened. I'm very proud of her resolve." But Jay-Z isn't standing down though, and Beyonce has made it clear that she's standing by her husband. A day after the refiling of the lawsuit and the back and forth between the two, Jay-Z attended the movie premiere of Mufasa, The Lion King, which his wife and daughter have roles in. Now, this shocked a lot of people that he was out in public already. Sources with direct knowledge told the Post that before the allegations, it was rumored that Jay-Z and Beyonce were not planning to attend the premiere. However, they appeared to have a change of heart after the lawsuit. Beyonce forced Jay-Z to go to the premiere last night, an insider told DailyMail.com. They are working with a crisis specialist who is advising them on how to handle this. Beyonce believes the best way to face it is head on, and that's what they did. Disney, though, had other feelings, as an insider revealed that there was hesitation on Disney's side regarding the best way to handle it, given the events from the lawsuit. At the end of the day, it was Beyonce's call. They allowed her to decide how she thought was best to handle the situation. That's how much Disney trusts and values her. They added, and the way she wanted to handle it was to smile, put on a united front by standing by her man, but also celebrate her daughter. They were originally scheduled to do interviews on the carpet. However, after the lawsuit was filed and came to light on Sunday, it was quickly decided by both sides that there would be no interviews, only photos. Now, this isn't Jay-Z's first time being in trouble with the law. Just weeks before Jay-Z was set to release his fourth album in 1999, he ran into a bit of trouble at the album release party for fellow New Yorker Q-Tips Amplified. A man named Lance Riviera, CEO of the record label Entertainment, was present at this event. It was said that Lance was selling bootleg versions of Jay-Z's new album, and while at the party, Jay-Z caught a friend of Riviera's red-handed with an illegal copy of the album. So a fight ensued, and during it, Jay injured Lance with a sharp object. Jay-Z was then arrested and charged. However, after facing 15 years in prison, he entered a guilty plea and got off with 3 years of probation instead. Now, he would later address the altercation in a song. As the lyrics say, "Crazy how life works, you got a knot in your chest, imagine how a knife hurts, you stabbed over some records, your excuse was he was talking too reckless." Yikes, now that is just concerning. Now, it really does seem like Jay-Z and Beyonce are trying to use their wealth and fame to their advantage in this situation, which is honestly just icky. So what will happen with this case? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. The couple's friend Diddy has his trial set for May 5th, 2025, and there might even be more accusations against him and even Jay-Z before then. And just because Beyonce hasn't been named in any of these crimes doesn't mean she's not implicit in any sort of way. For now though, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Now, first off, it all starts with her marrying Jay-Z. Now, a lot of people have called them relationship goals, but not everything has been sunshine and rainbows. The pair met when Beyonce was young, and there's a 12-year age difference between them. Now, it seems like Beyonce has dealt with a lot due to Jay-Z, and people have told her to leave him, but she stays. One of the first instances of this was when there were rumors that he was cheating on her. In 2014, they were just rumors, but Beyonce actually confirmed them in 2016 on her album Lemonade. She included lyrics like "Death to side chicks" and the infamous "He only want me when I'm not there, he better call Becky with the good hair." Now, this prompted fans to look for this so-called Becky, Jay-Z's mistress, though there was never confirmation on who it actually was. But Rachel Roy has been thought of as the #1 person to be the woman Jay-Z had an affair with. Now, nothing has ever been confirmed again, but looking at the evidence, it is very plausible. Rachel has a long history with Jay-Z's business enterprise, Rockaware, so the timing and opportunity would align. Now, when Beyonce released her album Lemonade, she finally confirmed that Jay-Z cheated on her and said it was Becky. But that same day, Rachel posted on Instagram with the caption, skin, good hair, don't care, but we will take good lighting for selfies or self-truths always. Live in the light, hashtag no drama queens. Now this upset a lot of people and her comments were flooded with hate. Now she eventually made her account private and eventually deleted the post. Others thought that Rita Ora could have been the other woman, Becky. But again, this side chick has never come forward. But it seems like Beyonce confirmed the cheating and fans were disappointed to find out that she was staying with JayZ. Then in June of 2017, JayZ confirmed that he cheated on his new album. He included lyrics like, "I apologize to all the women whom I toyed with your emotions, cause I was emotionless," he raps. He continued, "I apologized, our love was one for the ages and I contained us, and if my children knew, I don't even know what I would do. If they ain't look at me the same, I'd probably die with all the shame." Now in an interview with the New York Times Magazine, JayZ admitted that he cheated on Beyonce. "So even with women, you're gonna shut down emotionally so you can't connect. In my case, like, it's deep," he told the outlet. And then all the things happened from there. Infidelity. "We were using our art almost like a therapy session, and we started making music together." So yeah, he embarrassed Beyonce and they stayed together, and this is just not a good look for the star. And now there's the fact that she's standing by her husband again after being accused of committing some horrible crimes with Diddy. Now JayZ was actually spotted the day after a lawsuit was refiled as he attended a premiere of a movie with Beyonce where their daughter Blue Ivy voiced one of the characters. It was the first time JayZ had been spotted in public since the accusations. Now sources with direct knowledge told the Post that before the allegations, it was rumored that JayZ and Beyonce were not planning to attend the premiere. However, they appeared to have a change of heart after the lawsuit. So it seems like all that was just some kind of PR move, which is honestly just icky to me. Now Beyonce, who is reportedly working with a crisis specialist, is believed to have forced her accused spouse to attend as she wanted to face the accusations head on. Beyonce forced JayZ to go to the premiere last night, an insider told DailyMail.com exclusively. They are working with a crisis specialist who is advising them on how to handle this. Beyonce believes that the best way is to face it head on. Blue Ivy is aware of what's going on and is intent on supporting her father in any way she can. She was there in solidarity with her dad and mom. Beyonce will do anything she can to keep their family together, but is also concerned that way more women might come forward with lies. Now Beyonce anticipated Carter would get dragged into the scandal surrounding Combs, as the rappers have been friendly rivals for decades, with her husband often in attendance at his famous white parties, they said. Now, the fact that Beyonce believes that he's not guilty of anything is just truly alarming. Then in 2023, Beyonce gave her first full concert in more than 4 years at a luxury resort in Dubai for an audience of invited influencers and journalists. Pitchfork originally reported that the musician would perform for the unofficial opening of the Atlantis The Royal Hotel on January 21st and had invited select guests for a weekend where your dreams become your destination. Now the invitation mentioned a once-in-a-lifetime performance but did not specify by which artist. Now it turned out to be Beyonce, who played a 19-song set. Now, as many fans noted, homosexuality is illegal in the United Arab Emirates and considered a crime punishable by ending one's life. Fans have long lobbied artists to cancel concerts in the UAE and Saudi Arabia over the country's respective serious human rights violations. You see, in 2019, Nicki Minaj pulled out of playing Jeddah World Fest in Saudi Arabia after the Human Rights Foundation asked that she withdraw. In 2021, Justin Bieber performed at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix despite campaigners and activists calling on him to cancel. Now, Peter Tatchell, the LGBT rights campaigner, said Beyonce's performance in a dictatorship like Dubai was a huge mistake. He said that she had abandoned her own progressive values and put a money-grabbing paycheck before human rights. Like many of her LGBT fans, I feel betrayed and angry, he said, adding that her liberal reputation has taken a hard knock. Freelance music journalist Abigail Firth spoke to BBC Newsbeat about the controversy and pointed to the fact that Beyonce's recent work is indebted to the LGBT culture. She said, "It seems like a really misguided choice from her. She's obviously a multi-millionaire anyway. She didn't really need to do this. She didn't really need the money." That's probably where some of the backlash is stemming from as well. Yeah, I know a lot of fans were really disappointed in her, as a lot of them are a part of the LGBTQ community. Now, everyone thinks that Beyonce is this musical genius, but in reality, reality, she has stolen a lot of things from artists throughout her career. Now, in a 2008 interview with Marie Claire UK, Beyonce implied that some of the lyrics to her 2006 single Irreplaceable weren't actually aimed at Jay-Z. But then controversy arose over the writing credits on Irreplaceable. As singer-songwriter Ne-Yo told MTV, apparently Beyonce was at a show somewhere, and right before the song came on, she said, "I wrote this for all my ladies," and then the song came on. The song is a co-write, I wrote the lyrics, I wrote all the lyrics. Beyonce helped me with the melodies and the harmonies and the vocal arrangement that makes it a co-write, meaning my contribution and her contribution made the song what it is. Now in 2011, Ne-Yo said he wrote the song for himself, but thought it'd be better suited for Beyonce. Now some of Beyonce's fans read Ne-Yo's remarks as disrespectful towards her. However, he clarified his comment later on Twitter, writing, "I said I originally wrote the song for me. Once I realized the song comes across if sung by a guy, that's when I decided to give it away." Then, in August of 2022, Beyonce announced that she would change the lyrics to her song Heated after backlash from disability rights activists. Now the track included a slang term derived from an ableist word, which is considered offensive among people with cerebral palsy. Now at the time, her team released a statement saying, "The word, not used intentionally in a harmful way, will be replaced." Not only that, but Beyonce has also had other slip-ups with controversial lyrics. When her 2013 song Partition dropped, Monica Lewinsky complained about being in the song, which of course referenced her 1998 scandal. In an essay for Vanity Fair, she wrote, "Thanks Beyonce, but if we're verbing, I think you meant Bill Clinton'd all on my gown."